Welcome. I'm going to be leading you through a good old-fashioned Joe Pilates mat workout, following the classical order, starting with the 100 and ending with push-up. We are going to be skipping the crab, but other than that, all exercises I will be reviewing in their fullest expression. I will not be offering any injuries or limitation modifications, so if you know any injuries or limitations that require modifications in your body, please take them. The purchasing of this workshop has released me of any liability of injuries or limitations that may happen as a result or of the workout, or any injuries and limitations that may be made worse by the workout. As Pilates instructors, we know how important it is to listen to our bodies, not just for the things we've been dealing with a long time, but for how our body is feeling in the moment. If you feel like you need to sit out, take any stretch or modification that you know you need, or a plank is always your friend. We're going to start with the 100, so you can begin lying down flat on your back, legs out nice and long, arms down by the side. Once you're down there, stretch those toes out long, roll the shoulders back. Take a couple breaths to try to pull the ribs and the tummy in a little bit, starting to bring some attention to the core. On your next inhale, start to curl the chin to the chest, and then exhale to float your feet in front of your eyes and your hands next to your hips, beginning to pump. Inhaling for 5 and exhaling for 5. Squeezing through the glutes, Pilates stancing those feet, pointing the toes away. Eyes in line with toes if available. Arms pressing down, 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 pumping about 6 to 8 inches big, reaching nice and long. Inhaling for 5 and then exhaling for 5, sinking the belly deeper and deeper into the spine. 2 more breaths here, in for 5 and out for 5. 1 more breath here, in for 5 and exhale out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower arms, legs, and head down flat to the mat. Flexing through the feet, send the arms up towards the ceiling to begin the roll up. Take an inhale to bring the chin to the chest, and then use the exhale to round up and over those thighs, scooping the belly away. And then round the spine to roll back bone by bone, shoulders from ears, heels reaching from the head. Land nice and smooth with a big inhale, and then exhale, chin to chest, come up and over those legs. Reaching for the toes, but scooping the belly back, arms by the ears. And then articulate that spine right back down to the mat space, letting the shoulders come down, and then the head last. 2 more here. Inhale to prepare. Use the exhale to roll up and over those legs, keeping the pinky toes pulling back as much as your big toe, and then scooping that belly deep and rolling down slower than it took you to come back up. Last one here. Take a nice inhale, exhale up and over those legs, and round over the legs with your spine, eyes to the knees, and then scoop the belly back. Articulate the spine down to the mat space, letting the shoulders touch and the head go last. Lowering the arms by the side, we go right into the roll over, pointing through those feet. Bringing the legs up and over the face, parallel to the floor. Open the legs as wide as the shoulders. Flex the feet, and then roll the spine down 1 vertebrae at a time as the legs stay hip distance apart, arms stay pressing down. The legs come to 45, pointing the toes and squeezing the legs back together to roll up and over with your exhale. Open the legs and flex the feet about shoulder distance and keep them that distance as you articulate the spine bone by bone. Down to the mat, slower than it took you to roll over, pressing arms and shoulders down as well. Lower to 45, point the toes, squeeze the legs. 1 more here like this with this choreography. Flex the feet open and really reach through those heels as you're lowering bone by bone, reaching the arms long as well. Lowering down, keep the feet open and flexed, and roll over with the legs hip distance. Point the feet and close the legs. Inhale here. Exhale, roll down bone by bone by bone, continuing to keep the shoulders pressing down. Lower to 45, open the legs, flex the feet to go up and over. Squeeze the legs and point the toes, and then draw the inner thighs together. As you lower bone by bone back down to the mat space, we have 1 more. Lower to open and flex, reaching up and over with those legs, parallel to the floor. Legs together, point the feet, and then articulate that spine down. 1, vertebrae at a time, keeping the legs together. Lower them all the way down onto the mat space, keeping the arms by the side. Keep the left leg on the floor and extend the right leg to the ceiling with external rotation for single leg circle. Inhale, cross the leg over for Joe's version, allowing the right hip to lift. Circle the leg around, allowing the right hip to come back to the mat, and stop your leg at the top. Keep the shoulders down as you inhale to cross the leg and exhale to come up. Take as much rotation as available for you, allowing that right hip to lift. Maybe your leg goes over so far it finds itself parallel to the floor, and then it circles around back and up. One more here. Inhale to start that circle. Exhale up to the top and finish to reverse. Inhale to open and exhale, let that hip come up as you cross the thighs and finish at the top. Inhale to start, exhale, each circle's its own entity, and come right back up. Two more here. Inhale, open, really give a big cross to those inner thighs as you lift that hip, and then back to the ceiling. Last one here. Keep the arms and shoulders pressing down as you come right back up to the top. Lower the right leg to the mat space. Lift the left leg straight up, still pointed, externally rotated. And let's cross that leg over the midline and around to the side, back up to the top. Inhale to cross, let the left hip lift, but not the left shoulder. Circle the leg around, keeping the hip back down as you bring the leg to the top. Allowing it to lift on the cross, but not the shoulder, putting it back on the mat on the open to come up. One more here, keeping again both arms and shoulders pressing down for a nice base of support. And we reverse. Inhale to open, exhale, cross that leg over to lift the hip, and then right back to the ceiling. Inhale, open, exhale, squeeze the inner thighs as you cross. Stop the leg and the hip right at the top. Two more here. Keeping that gaze to the ceiling, you're going to be tempted on that rotation to try to look where the leg is going, and then circle it for the last one back up to the ceiling and lower the legs all the way down. Send your arms up towards the ceiling and roll your spine up and off the best way you can, bending your knees and scooting your feet close to your seat so that you can roll like a ball. Bringing your hands to your shins, balancing on the sits bones, eyes to the pubic bone, shoulders back. Elbows a slight bit lifted. Inhale to rock back, but not onto the head. Exhale to come up, balance on the sits bones. Inhale to rock back, eyes to thighs, feet to seat. Exhale to come back up. A slight little opening in the knees if you're feeling any tightness in the hips. Otherwise, try to close the legs as best you can. Shoulders are relaxing and the shins are being held with a nice light grip, no death grip. Two more here, not letting that head ever touch the mat, but finding as much of the shoulder blades as you can. One more here. Inhale, rock back. Exhale, come up and stay. From here, keep the right knee into the chest and lower halfway down into a head curl, extending the left leg out. Keeping the right hand on the right ankle, left hand on the left shin, and then switching that grip as we start to alternate the legs for single leg stretch. The knee that comes into the chest, that same hand is on the ankle, opposite hand on the shin. Eyes to thighs, brushing thighs right past each other, reaching the legs across the room. It's called single leg stretch, so stretch the leg and tighten the seat. Eyes again to thighs, belly pulls in tight for 5 and 4 and 3 and 2. Hug both knees on 1 for double leg stretch. Arms and legs reach out and circle the arms to hug the knees. Try to line up your arms with your ears as you reach. Try to lower the legs to your place of challenge. Maybe feet go in line with the eyes. Circle the arms to hug the shins. Inhale to reach. Use the exhale to pull the tummy in tight. And give me 2 more just like this. 1 more just like this. And lower all the way down to take a rest. Extend the legs out nice and long and roll your spine all the way up. Once you're sitting up tall, you're going to open the legs as wide as the mat space for spine stretch. Make sure you're sitting and perched right on your sits bones. Arms are reaching out parallel to the legs and the floor. Inhale here, and as though you're lassoed around the waist, dive forward till your ears are between your arms. Arms are still parallel to the floor. Stack the spine up, shoulders down, get taller than when you started. Inhale, lift tall. Exhale, dive up and over an imaginary beach ball, reaching the arms forward but pulling the shoulders back. Stack the spine up tall, shoulders away from those ears. 2 more here, flexing through those feet, pushing down through those heels and sits bones, and coming right back up. 1 more here, dive it forward with your exhale. Inhale while you're there, and use your exhale to stack your spine on up. Bending your knees and scooting your feet slightly closer to your feet, grabbing onto your ankles. Rock back onto the sits bones for open leg rocker. Extending the legs out about mat distance, lift the eyes, lift the heart to where your toes are pointing. From here to rock back, chin to chest, round the spine, find the shoulder blades behind you, rock back up, balance on the sits bones. Lift the heart and the eyes though at the top. And then to roll back, eyes and heart look to the pubic bone to round the spine. Don't find the head. Come find the sits bones. Pull the heart to the legs. 2 more here. Your inhale takes you back. Your exhale comes up. Try to find that pelvic floor to find your balance. 1 more here. Inhale, rock back. Exhale, come up and hold. Squeezing your legs together. You're going to lower your spine down to the mat space, leaving your legs towards the ceiling. You can use your hands to walk back down your thighs for help. Leaving your legs up towards the ceiling for corkscrew. Going into full variation. Arms pressed by the side and are a nice base of support as you roll the legs up and over your face. From here, tilt your hips to the left so your legs or your toes are pointing to the right. And then roll down on the right side of your spine till the right hip touches. Circle the legs and be over to the left hip to roll up on the left side of the spine to come back where you are. Now tilt those hips to the right so the feet are to the left. Roll the spine down on the left side of your spine and rock those hips over to the right to swing your legs back up and over your face. 1 more in each direction, toes to the right. Shoulders stay down as you roll down the right side of that mat, keeping the legs tight together to come up and around to the other side. 1 more here, taking those toes to the left, rolling down the left side of the spine. Left hip touches the legs lower to circle. You balance on that right hip to circle the legs back and up and over your face. And then roll your spine all the way down, 1 vertebrae at a time. Allow the legs to lower down to the mat. Arms go up towards the ceiling to roll your spine up and off the mat for saw. Flexing your feet and opening them a little bit wider than the mat space. Arms going out to the side. From here, twist to the left and reach your right pinky finger to your left pinky toe. Looking back at your left hand, hover your ear over your knee. Come all the way up without rocking the hips or the feet. Twist to the right. Reach pinky finger to pinky toe. Look back to your hand. Ear over knee. Come all the way up and untwist. Inhale, get tall. Exhale like you've been lassoed around the waist. Look back and balance on both sits bones. Come all the way up, untwist. 1 more to the right. Look back to the hand. Reach pinky finger to pinky toe. Anchor the hips and heels. Come all the way up and untwist. Taking it into our where are we on? Swan dive. Flipping over onto the tummy. I'm going to move this here microphone a little bit. Flipping over onto that tummy. Lying all the way down on the mat space. If swan dive is not in your practice, just take swan. Legs are about open mat distance. Feet are pointed and resting on the floor. Hands are coming underneath of your shoulders, maybe slightly in front, and start to lift up into your swan. Going into swan dive, keep the tummy pulled in and never find your face on the floor as you shoot the arms out in front, rocking on the torso and propping yourself back up on the arms. Try to find the same spot on the mat with your hands when you prop yourself back up. Think shoulders away from ears and squeeze them tight together. Heart is nice and proud. Toes lift by tightening the seat to help the legs lift, and then they lower back down. Catch yourself with your hands. Last one here, use your inhale to reach, use the exhale to prop up and hold for a moment, and then lower down onto your forearms. Coming down onto the forearms for single leg kick. Make sure you're on the forearms with your hands either facing each other or up towards the ceiling. Gazing forward to the middle fingers, bring the shoulders back as the heart comes forward. Flex the foot to kick, point the foot to kick, and lengthen. Flex and point and lengthen. On the lengthen, see if you can really lengthen out the leg from the hip and point that foot so the thigh tries to engage off of the mat. As you're kicking those heels to the seat, whether pointed or flexed, try not to let the hips rock. 5 more seconds here, keeping the heart nice and proud. And for 3, and for 2. Finish even on 1 and lower the legs, coming all the way down with your right cheek onto the mat space. Once you're here, bring the legs all the way together, still with pointed toes. Hands come behind the back for double leg kick. Bring the hands up to the mid-back or to the ribs. Let the elbows fall to the side. From here, without rocking the pelvis, with pointed toes, kick the butt 3 times, and then lengthen the legs and arms as you lift into extension. Gaze to the edge of your mat. As you lower down, turn the opposite cheek, pull the arms up and kick your butt at the same time. Let the elbows relax. Lengthen legs, lengthen arms, come up, eyes to mat, open the heart. One more to each side, lower right cheek down, kick that butt. 3, 2, 1, kick and lengthen, point those toes, reach the hands to the toes. Lower down to the left cheek for 3, 2, and on 1, stretch all the way out with those legs. Good, and then come all the way down, right cheek to the mat. Good, pressing back. If you need child's pose, take it, but we're gonna flip over onto our butts. And lie back down on the floor. Going into neck pull. Hands go behind the head, elbows are nice and wide. Interlace the fingers and place the head in the hands. You can point or flex the feet, your preference here. Elbows pull into your ears, and you're gonna round your spine up for a rollover, aiming your elbows in line with your knees, just to the outside of them, really. Stack the spine up nice and tall, opening the elbows wide. Inhale, get tall and hinge back, and then when you can't hinge anymore, exhale to round the spine, fold the elbows in, and articulate back down to the mat space. Once the head touches, take an opening in the elbows. Close the elbows, chin to chest, roll up and over the legs, aim the elbows to the outside of the knees. Lengthen the spine to come all the way up, and then hinge back without letting the legs lift. Roll the spine down when you can't hinge anymore, bringing the elbows around your face. Once the head touches, the elbows can open. 2 more. Inhale, close the elbows, lift the head, and exhale up and over. Bowing over the legs. Inhale, lift up tall to fan the elbows wide. Exhale, hinge, and then scoop the belly to roll all the way back and down. Elbows go wide. Last one here. Elbows in, roll all the way up and over those legs. Lift up tall in the center, hinge back till you can't anymore, and then rounding the spine, pulling the elbows in, lower all the way down to the mat space. Taking it into scissor bicycle for inversions, bending your knees and placing your feet flat on the mat. You can come in from a bridge. You can also go in from a rollover position. If you're gonna roll over, send the legs up to the ceiling, roll the legs over and prop your hips up. Otherwise, bridge, then prop your hips up. Send your legs to the ceiling to be in an inversion. From here for scissors, one leg comes over the face, one leg goes away from it, and we switch, and we switch. Balancing the hips evenly in the hands, try not to let them rock. The leg going away from the face is more important than the leg coming towards you. Feel a nice stretch through the front of that hip and thigh. Give those legs a little pulse for 3. Belly's in 2. Chins off the chest, 1. Legs find them way to the top for bicycle. Lower the right leg, bend the left knee into the chest, and reach with those toes as you circle the legs around. Reaching towards the ceiling and as much away from you as you are towards the ceiling. Try not to bring the knees over the face. And then flex the feet to reverse. Push something heavy away from you. Try to keep that belly scooped in tight. And again, feet never over the face for 3. And for 2. And for 1, and then bend those knees into the chest. From here, see if you can open your feet about shoulder distance in a tabletop position. Either both or one toes are going to start to reach down towards the floor until they find themselves there. And then lower your feet down, lower the arms down, and find yourself in a bridge position. Pulling the arms down by the side. Keep all 10 toes on the mat to start and hold for a bridge to even out your pelvis. Then shift the weight slightly to the left leg as the right leg kicks to the ceiling. Flex that foot and lower knee to knee. Point the foot to kick it up. Flex the foot to lower till you get to the calf. Point the foot to lift it up. Flex to lower until that leg meets the ankle. Point the foot to lift it up. Bend the knee and put the foot back down where it came from to go to the other side. Left leg to the ceiling with a flex. Lower down, knee to knee. Point to come up. Flex and lower calf to knee, and then point to come up. One more. Can you get that left knee down to the right ankle? Point to come up. Replace your foot back down on the floor. Inhale at the top of your bridge. And then exhale to lower your spine on to the mat space. Lengthening the legs out long, keeping them together with flexed feet. Arms go to the ceiling, roll all the way up, and sit tall for spine twist. Arms go out to the side. Keeping the legs together and as even as you can, twist to the right, inhale through the center, and then exhale, twist to the left. As you're inhaling in the center, take a glance at the feet, make sure they're nice and even. Try not to rock on those sits bones and keep your arms as parallel to the floor as you can. One more to each side, finishing at the left, and then coming back center to rest. We're gonna roll ourselves back down onto the mat space for jackknife, so make your way all the way back down onto the mat. From here, keep the arms by the side. Inhale to prepare to lift the legs 45. Exhale, roll them up and over your face. Holding it here, take those legs straight up towards the ceiling, point the toes to the sky. Fold the legs back parallel to the floor over your face, and then scoop the belly to roll back and down. One vertebrae at a time. Two more. Inhale to prepare at 45. Exhale, roll the legs up and over. Take a quick inhale. Exhale the legs to the ceiling. Inhale, fold them back over. And then exhale, articulate the spine all the way down to the mat. Lower legs 45, shoulders, arms down. Roll legs up and over. Lift those toes, tighten the seat to reach for the sky. Fold the legs in half over the face. And then roll the spine down, one vertebrae at a time. Lower the legs all the way down to the mat space and flip onto your right side for side lying kick. Once you get there, prop your head up in your hand, bringing your top hands behind your head and your legs out long. Flexing the feet, lift the top leg up hip distance and kick forward and back. Forward kick, kick, and back. Keep it smooth. Forward kick, kick, back. Keep it smooth. Try to keep the shoulders from rocking. Push the head into the hand. Keep that bottom oblique lifted off the mat space and reach your top leg longer than your bottom. Give me two more just like this. Inhale, forward, forward. Exhale, sweep it back. One more. Inhale, forward, forward. Exhale, sweep it back. And then close the legs together, flipping onto the other side. Rolling onto your left side, prop yourself up the same way. Hands behind the head. Feet flexed, legs out long. Make sure you're stacked up. Lift the top leg parallel to the floor and sweep it forward with a kick, kick, and then reach it back nice and smooth. Inhale, kick, kick. Exhale, reach back. Try to keep that top elbow open, the shoulders stacked, hips stacked. Bottom oblique lifts because your top leg is trying to lift as long as your bottom. Push that bottom leg down for a nice base of support, but try not to lift your ribs off the mat space. Give me two more here. Inhale, kick, kick forward. And exhale, reach back. Last one, kick, kick forward. Exhale, reach back. Close the legs together on top of each other and roll on to your back for me. From here, going into teaser, arms and legs reach out nice and long. Line up your arms behind your head so your ears are next to your biceps. From here, pointing the toes, chin to chest, lift the arms a little bit, and arms and legs come up as you find your teaser. Eyes, hands, and hearts reaching for the toes. On the way down, start to take the arms up, and then lower the spine down till the head, the arms, and the heels touch all about at the same time. Inhale to prepare. Exhale to come up and whoop, find that teaser. Holding it here for a moment, lift the arms up and then lower the spine down. Keep the arms by the ears, the head and the heels touch at the same time. Two more here. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, come up, find teaser. This time lower and lift those arms for 3 and for 2. And for 1, arms stay lifted. Lower all the way down to the mat space. From here, last one, we're going to stay up in leg lift. Come up and find teaser. Heart and eyes and hands to toes. Lower lift legs 1. Lower lift legs 2. Lower lift legs 3, and then hold them there. Sweep the arms behind you and go right into hip twist. Keep the arms long. Swing the legs to the left. Circle them down, around to the right, and come up. Inhale to the right. Circle down, around, and left to come up. Keeping the circle only as big as you can to keep the upper body nice and steady. Heart is nice and proud. Hips are slightly rocking. Do one more in each direction, finding Pilates stance, heels together, toes apart. And then once you're nice and even in those directions, you're going to lower those legs down to the mat space, turning to flip onto your tummy for swimming. Arms and legs are reaching out nice and long, open as wide as your mat. From here, point the toes and stay as parallel as you can. Opposite arm lifts as opposite leg. And then switch and switch. Trying to avoid touching the mat, start to speed it up, reaching opposite arm up as opposite leg, keeping the hips nice and steady and the shoulders and ribs nice and steady for 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1, and lower down for a rest. Bringing your hands under your shoulders. Curl your toes under on the mat space. We're pressing up for leg pull back. Pull the tummy in and press up into a plank position. From here, point the right foot off the floor behind you. Shift your weight forward and back 2 times by pointing the left foot. Then lower the right leg and pick the left one up. Point and flex your right foot to shift 2 times. And then switch those legs. Try to keep the pelvis curled under. Keep the belly pulled in. Try to keep the heart finishing between the hands on your plank. One more to each side. Shift forward, back. And lower the leg. One more here, forward, back. And then lower the leg and lower the knees. Flipping onto your back for leg pull back. Flip it on over and bring those hands behind you. Point those toes and lengthen the legs out in front. Take a big inhale, and as you exhale, lift up for a reverse plank. Eyes looking up across the room so that when you lift the leg, it's in sight of your eyes, and lower it down. Point to lift and flex to lower. Inhale to lift and exhale to lower. Heart is proud. Eyes looking to where the toes are at their highest for 2. Last one here. Feet down, hips down, and take a moment. We're going to turn to the side and come into side kneeling kick. Come onto your knees, facing so that your mat is the long way underneath of you. Take your arms out into a T position. Lower your right hand to the floor as your left hand comes behind your head, and kick your left leg out to the side. Just like when we were lying down, kick, kick forward and back. Kick, kick forward and back. You can kick, kick forward and point back. Add a little extra. Kick, kick and back. 2 more here. Kick, kick and back. Last one here. And bring the leg back. From here, hover it about hip height. And we're going to go to the other side by bringing the knee down, pushing up from the floor and finding T with your arms. From here, the left leg or left hand goes to the mat. Right leg kicks out, right hand behind the head. Push the head and the hand together. Parallel leg, kick forward, forward, and back. And forward, forward, and back. Keep that pelvis reaching forward, forward. This is a smaller motion than when you were lying down. And push your back leg down to the mat space. Give me 1 more here, stopping your leg about center. Bending the knee and popping up back to a kneeling position with your arms to a T. From here, you're going to come and sit onto your right hip for side bend. Taking your legs stacked up, bringing them a little bit further away from you. Top leg stacked on the floor in front of your bottom, so your feet are almost in a line. Bring your right hand onto the mat, a little onto the diagonal, and send your left arm out to the side. From here, take a nice big inhale, and as you exhale, lift the hips and reach up and over into a big side bend. You look like a banana. And then lower the hips with control, bending the knees to help you come down. Inhale to prepare, exhale up and over, hips, heart, and eyes forward. And then slowly lower down, resist gravity. We have 2 more. Inhale here, exhale, lift up and over, big stretch, lots of work, and lower back and down. Last one here, lift all the way up and over, take that big side bend towards the ceiling, and then come all the way down to finish. We're going to switch the legs to the other side, swing them on and around. Stack up the feet and knees and then scoot those feet further away from you, making your feet into like a line, bringing your top foot in front of your bottom. Left hand on the mat space, right arm out to the side. From here, inhale, exhale, lift up and over, squeeze the thighs, push the heart and the hips forward. And then lower back down, the knees and the hips come down with control. From here, do it again. Keep the heart and hips forward. Reach that arm with energy up and over. And then come right back down to the mat space. 2 more here. Push down into the floor and reach the ribs to the ceiling. Eyes are forward. And come down with control. Last one here. Come all the way up and over. Hold for a moment to stretch. And come all the way down to take a rest. Turning for boomerang, we're going to start seated. The legs are out long with the right ankle crossed over the left. Toes are pointed. Hands are coming next to the hips onto the mat space. Remember, when we roll over, don't compress your cervical spine. Drop the chin to the chest and roll the spine back, bringing the legs up and over the face. Crisscross the legs the other direction. Roll the spine down, balance on the sits bones, reach the hands to the toes. Pull the elbows through your waistline, interlacing the fingers behind you to stretch the arms. Lift them up as you dive forward, letting the feet land on the mat. Reach those arms to the ankles and take a quick stretch. And then stack the spine up, bringing your hands by your hips. We do it again. Squeeze the thighs, curl the pelvis, roll it back, roll up and over. Crisscross the legs the opposite way. Roll the spine back down and balance on the sits bones, finding like a teaser. Elbows pull through, you clasp the hands, you lower the legs, you lift the arms, and you dive the nose to the knees. And then reach the hands to the ankles and stack it back up. We have 2 more. Inhale, prepare, exhale, use it to go up and over. Crisscross those legs. Scoop the belly in, eyes to the toes as you come up to find teaser. Elbows pull through, interlace fingers, lower legs, lift arms, dive forward. And hands to the ankles to come back up. Last one. Inhale here, exhale, roll back up and over. Crisscross the opposite way. Roll back up to find your teaser. Try not to move the legs as the arms pull through, and then as the arms lift, the legs lower and your nose goes to your knees. And then circle the arms around to the ankles and stack your spine up nice and tall for seal. So bending your knees, bringing your feet to your seat like rolling like a ball. This time though, bring your hands inside of your legs and grab the outside of your ankles, bringing the bottoms of your feet to touch. Your elbows are pressing into your inner thighs and you're gazing to your pubic bone. Clap your feet, 3, 2, 1, rock to the shoulder blades. Come back up, balance, and clap again, 3, 2, 1. Inhale to rock back. Exhale to come up and find your balance, clapping, move up those feet, pushing those elbows into those inner thighs and keeping your gaze towards your pubic bone. Let's do one more here. Inhale back, exhale, come up, clap, 3, 2, 1, and then rest your feet on the mat in front of you. Rolling onto your tummy for rocking. Flipping over onto the belly, lengthen the legs out long. Behind you as parallel as you can. From here, reach your hands back towards the tops of the feet or the ankles, and then lift up your heart to extension and your thighs off of the floor. From here, without rocking your head, try to lift those feet and push your feet into your hands. Just start to bring a little movement into the torso, rocking on the ribs and the pelvis for 3, and for 2, and for 1, and lower all the way down. And take a moment. We're going to flip over onto our backs for control balance. Rolling onto your back, bringing your arms by your side, legs up towards the ceiling. We're going to lower the legs halfway and then roll the legs up and over the face and find a rollover that you can maintain. Step 1 is to bring the arms back behind the head, taking away your base of support. Reach your right hand or your right ankle towards your hands and grab on as you send the left leg to the ceiling, balancing on your shoulder blades. Now, leave the arms where they are and switch the legs. Take the right leg to the ceiling and try to bring the left leg into the hands. And then once you're there, hold for a moment to balance. We do one more to each side. Hands stay where they are, as close to the mat as you can. As the leg comes down to the hands, the other leg goes up to the ceiling. Last one here, keep the arms where they are. Bring the left leg down as the right leg comes up. And then hold. From here, bring the legs parallel over your face. Bring one or both arms down at a time. And then roll the spine all the way down to the mat. Bringing yourself into a standing position to finish with push-up. Standing on the mat, about fist distance apart with those feet. We're going to roll all the way down and take 3 steps to walk out. Inhale, prepare, exhale, dive forward. Let the hands hit the mat. 3 steps to walk out and find your plank. Heels reach away from head for 2 push-ups. Down, up, 1. Down, up, 2, elbows pull in. Tip the hips up and then 3 steps to walk back in towards your feet and roll the spine up. Take the arms to the ceiling. We have 2 more. Inhale here, exhale, dive it forward, scoop the belly, hands to the mat. Walk out 3, 2, 1. Elbows come in for 2 push-ups. And then we pike those hips up. Walk hands 3 times into the feet and roll the spine up for 1 last round. Inhale up, exhale, dive forward, hands to the mat, 3 steps to walk out. And push-ups, down, up, 1, down, up, 2, and pike it on up. Hands walk in towards those feet. You can hang heavy for an extra moment here. And then roll your spine all the way up to the top to finish standing. Oh, good job. Nice work, everybody. So we flowed, we didn't take too many breaks, but we made it through every single one of Joe's exercises in his order except for crab. So if you use this exercise or these exercises for the Impactful Class Planning Workshop, make sure you take a moment to fill out your questions about how it felt to do this little workout. Hopefully you enjoyed and your body feels great.